at the floor of my hotel room door because I refuse to give them the $1 that they want for that dribble. But let me read from you Wednesday's USA Today, which was delivered at my door in Washington, D.C. when I was up doing some work. The headline says, "Jubilant crowds celebrate bill at signing events." Let me read this. "The glitzy East Room of the White House, site of musical performances and state dinners, was transformed Tuesday by hundreds of exuberant lawmakers and healthcare advocates there to witness history. President Obama, bless his heart," well, it doesn't say that, "signed into law sweeping healthcare legislation that has eluded his predecessors for a century, going back to Teddy Roosevelt. It was a sometimes raucous celebration in the packed room, complete with cheers of yes we can, that evoked Obama's own historic presidential campaign. Members of Congress hung one another and took pictures. Obama beamed." Now that's disturbing in its own right, because that represents this segment of our society that sees that as necessary. But let me read you one sentence that I hope chills you to your spine. Quote, Obama said, "We can take our next steps with new confidence," he said, "with a new wind behind our backs." I will leave it to you to ponder what the next steps are. I will leave it to you to consider what a socialist wants to do to our nation. I will leave it to you to consider what is on the line in 2010 elections. I will leave it to you to consider if we want to keep doing the things that we have been doing for decades in this country, spending ourselves into bankruptcy, unable to solve straightforward issues like illegal immigration, and unwilling to stand up with integrity and courage and do the right thing every time. Think about the implications of a socialist president saying, "We have a new wind behind our backs." Think about the implications of having politicians in Washington, D.C., 435 in the U.S. House of Representatives and 100 in the Senate, who have learned the art of compromise, who have learned the art of going along to get along, who have learned what George Washington warned us about in his farewell address, and that is these factions that war with one another, and he was talking about political parties. Or do we want to do something new? Do we want to take people and put them in office who are not politicians? Do we want to put people in office who want to do the right thing every time? Do we want to put people in office who have said very clearly, "I want to go there for 6 years," and then it's someone else's turn to follow, and someone else's turn to follow, and someone else's turn to follow? Do we want to put people in office who don't give a hang about a political career, who don't give a hang about political consequences to decisions, and instead who only want to do the right thing? One of the great movies of my adult life is Close Encounters. And you may remember Richard Dreyfuss. And he was building the big potato mountain in his dining room. And you may remember that. And when his family said, "What are you doing?" he said, "I don't know." He didn't know what brought him there. He didn't know what he was doing. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you one of these few hundred who in the month of March of 2010 have decided something is really rotten, something's really broken? What motivates you to be here? I think you know far more than Richard Dreyfuss knew. I think you know what is wrong. But folks, there is work to be done. There are 400,000 people around us who are still asleep. There are 400,000 people who say, "I've got a roof over my head and I've got cable TV. What else is there to life?" We need to walk out of here with a renewed vigor. We need to walk out of here and say, "I've got to go convert people." We've got to walk out of here and say, "I've got to convince my neighbors. I've got to convince my work associates. I've got to convince my friends. I've got to convince the people I go to church with that something is wrong in America and we've got to change it and we've got a chance." Now, I am not I am not about to suggest that this will be easy, but I'm fascinated at the answers we get. When we say there's a non-politician and a non-lawyer in the Republican primary, and they go, "That's great, you're my guy. You're the only one that's not a politician or a lawyer." "Yeah, that's right. Then you're my guy." "Well, how about a bumper sticker?" "I don't do bumper stickers." "How about a yard sign?" "Well, some of my friends are Democrats. I don't want to do that." Now, this isn't about bumper stickers or yard signs, but this is about what are we going to do? This is about what is America worth to you? I recorded our cheer that Thomas Paine led us in to our armed forces, not because I am a general retired from the United States Air Force, but because Debbie and my firstborn son is in Kandahar, Afghanistan right now. And he's standing on the line of freedom. Please, that's for him, not me. And when I spoke to him, I said, "Lowell, what would you tell the people of Northwest Arkansas?" He said, "Tell them that we're here willingly every day, but we want to know why we're here." He said, "We're willingly here every day, but we need to know that the American people have a vision for why we are spilling our blood here." He said, "We're here willingly every day, but we're defending the America that we left behind, and we want to come back to that kind of America." Folks, the choice is ours. The choice is ours. Will we sit and enjoy this program this evening and then go back to life as usual? Will we go home and not tell our friends and our neighbors that we have got to take this back from the politicians? Will we go home and tell our church mates that we've got to take this back? Will we go home and tell every associate we've got that we've got to do this or we lose it all? I swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I put my life on the line for nearly 30 years to do it, and I was proud and happy to do it for my nation. But folks, we've got to do it now. We've got to take it back from the politicians. God bless you and God bless America. Let's go do it.